Warning, the following is entirely satirical and should not be taken as truth or fact. Styles Rebel Radio and the Rebel Podcast do not own any copyrighted material that may be included in this broadcast. Viewer discretion is advised.
It got all of you, too.
Right.
Like, for real, it got you.
Suspend the show right now.
You're going to zipline directly into the harpoon?
Yeah, what do you know about planes?
I know a lot about planes.
Buckle in, dude. It's going to suck.
Put your hand on the screen.
How did they find out? Who was the one?
This show has gotten infinitely more gay.
The mystical land of New Jersey.
I don't understand how the laws in this country work anymore.
Hello, and welcome to the Rebel Radio Show. I'm Radio's Rebel DJ Style. To my right is Shaney.
Hello.
To his right is the Pidge. On the board is Jules.
Hello.
I am Radio's Rebel DJ Style.
I like that, honestly.
Is that mic not on again?
No, it's not.
God damn.
Did you run out of cards?
I did. I don't know what to do from here. Now I'm nervous.
Oh,
I
it's okay.
I got papers here.
Oh, you got papers on there?
I got the script. Right.
Papers, please.
Papers, please. Shane, why don't you tell people where they can text in and who our sponsors are?
216-859-8699 is that number to call in. That's 216-859-8699. We are sponsored by Synergy Music Studio and Hellbender Vinyl and Generic Clothing. And you can find all of their links on our site. Isn't that right, Pidge?
That is right.
No, it's fucking... It is right. Thank you, Pidge. I appreciate it. So today we're talking about a flight where Zyns were banned? Question mark?
No, a person was kicked off. Yes? This is Styles' story, isn't
I
it?
lost my cards. I don't know what to say.
I have the script
Literally,
right here.
look,
if you
look,
need
this
the
is
script.
all I have. Yeah, go ahead and pass that script over.
Yeah, here you go. Here's the script.
Thank you.
Read the top line.
In 1765, the British Parliament passed the Stamp Act. This is not what I need.
This is the different script. Sorry.
That's from the World History book.
This is the World History podcast that we don't have.
Right.
He did have it all right here, but he also did run out of cards.
Yeah.
So
I don't know where I put the other ones.
I can't believe you actually have cards that say hello and welcome to the Rebel Radio.
How do you think I do it every week? I study.
yeah,
I just didn't have time to study before the show today.
gotta
Yeah, you have to
practice.
I was trying to make that mic work and it didn't.
They were digital, but then, things go down and
Right.
you just got to handwrite things once in a while.
That's what happened to the other laptop. It was just full of weeks of the same card over and over again.
malware.
Finally crashed.
Yeah. Did you get 216-859-8699?
Of course
Did we
I
say
did.
that? Okay.
Said it twice.
I was.
He did.
All right. Well, I'm going to say it again. 216-859-8699. If you're on a plane right now listening and you have to spit out your Zyn, we'd love to hear from you because apparently you cannot have Zyns on planes. You can have them on planes. You just can't use
You
them
can
on
own
planes.
them
Yes,
on
you can.
planes.
It's like back
Technically-
before Ohio became a legal state with marijuana, you could have it but not smoke it or something like that.
Technically, you can own anything and still go on a plane. You just don't tell them, and you don't bring it with you.
As long as it gets past TSA.
I don't think you can own anything.
No. You just,
Well, I'm saying just in the
Certain
context
laws
of...
that were passed 200
No,
years
no,
ago.
no.
If you listen to the World History podcast, you know.
You're right. I'm ill-informed.
Guys, Evan's
open
going to be
it up.
starting a world history show soon.
Yeah.
No, I could have, like,
Box cutters.
guns in my house and then go on a plane. I own guns, and I went on a plane.
yeah, but
Cut
you didn't
that,
bring
clip
them.
that, chat. Can we clip that? No, you can have Zyns on your person. You can have them on your carry-on. You can have them anywhere in your luggage or on your person. It's perfectly fine. Is all air policy, I guess. It doesn't say a specific airline here. United Airlines. Per United Airlines, you can have them on your person. You can have them on your carry-on. You can put them on your overhead, wherever you want. You just can't put them in your mouth and use them on the plane. Similar to you can't smoke and you can't vape on planes. You can't use Zyns on a plane. Why, though?
Sounds to me like this guy got busted.
Sounds to me like this guy hates freedom. This airline hates freedom.
How many others pops in, and this guy just happened to do it right when that flight attendant's walking by?
Yeah, he just
And-
wasn't afraid of hiding it. That's what it was.
Yeah, he was
Oh.
Too
overconfident.
comfortable with the Zyns.
Yeah.
This guy's kind of a jock,
Is
guys.
he a suitor?
He's
or
kind
is
of
he
a he's kind of a Chad. He's kind of an alpha. So here, recently, one flight passenger called out an airline on r/Delta, the forum on Reddit, for an experience with chewing Zyn on a board.
chewing it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was munching it down, dude. The guy told us.
This is spicy.
Got told to spit my Zyn out on a flight. I really didn't know this was a thing, the user wrote. Delta first class, not that it matters. They brought up a cup and asked me to spit out my Zyn. The user utters. They then said because it was a tobacco product, I didn't put up a fight and complied right away.
So it's because it's a tobacco. Is there tobacco in Zyn?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Is it?
Yeah,
Well,
it's
it's
nicotine.
nicotine.
It's not tobacco, though.
Yeah, nicotine and tobacco are different.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you
It's-
can't
Nicotine
say
is-
it's a tobacco product.
Nicotine is in tobacco, but nicotine is not tobacco.
Correct.
I just love that she came up to it with a cup, like, come on,
Yeah,
spit
give
it out.
Give it to me. I
Come
know you
on.
got it in
Come
there.
on,
She just
open
wanted one.
wide.
It's
She
like
just
when your
wanted
dog
Zyns.
has something that they shouldn't. You come racing around with your fingers
Yeah.
in their
Come
mouth.
on, Mr. Business Guy. I know you're busy. Spit it out.
Open your mouth.
Yeah, she really needed that Zyn. Come on.
Yeah, you think she popped it in right after?
100%.
She's like, I needed this.
Secondhand Zyn. It's my band.
Passive it. That is
Yeah.
a good band. Yeah.
No,
That's
it's
pretty
stupid.
ridiculous, though. Like, it's not hurting anyone, right?
Exactly.
I mean, that's the way I feel about vaping. I feel like
Same.
But
if you're not producing like actual smoke, like a cigarette smoke that's gonna stick to the walls and clothes and everything else.
I
like-
agree. I think there's a visual aspect for young people.
I can definitely see the scare factor that like
Yeah.
vaping would have for like if
Right.
there's an old head in the back and they
Yeah.
see smoke coming up
Smoke,
from the
yeah.
machine. They're like, "What's going on? It's something happening."
Old people, young people, it influences both of them. Even though, like, people our age and even people a little bit older than us and a little bit younger than us, those demos still know that vaping dissipates and it's not as harmful and it doesn't
Yeah.
stick to the walls. And,
Right.
But kids don't, and like Pidge was saying, old heads don't. So it's like, you know, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck is it? They're allowed to smoke, but we're," you know, like,
Yeah.
Well, like I would love to hear that complaint. First of all, why are they allowed to smoke and
Yeah,
I'm
right,
not? Pax brings out his fucking American spirits
Yeah.
on the back of the plane. We went to a cabin. We rented a cabin recently, and
Mhm.
that was in their like big bolded rules was do not smoke or vape inside. We will know. How
Mhm.
will you know? How will you know if I vape in here?
and let me tell you,
And I did,
they didn't know.
and I vaped a lot.
Style vaped a whole bunch.
I had
that
my
week,
box
yeah.
mod. I was blowing sick
Yeah.
clouds in there.
He was blowing O's. It was really he was
In the
showing,
freezer. I would open the freezer and blow it in there and save it
yeah,
for later.
Yeah, I'd bring out the frozen O. We'd play frisbee with it.
Style in the froze nose or my
Yeah,
band
that's
name.
another band name. Yeah, Frozen O's.
Yeah, dude, my coils burnt. I had to replace them in the middle of the fucking blaze. Yeah, it was a whole time.
Yeah, yeah.
In
Lot
fact,
of-
I spent the entire vacation in the living room with my
Vaping.
box mod.
That's all I
Vaping.
did the
Yeah.
whole time that I was there. Dude.
it's kind of sick.
blueberry.
honestly.
You had to
I really,
restock the
I really
O's.
respected it.
Went through
honestly.
so much cotton.
Yeah,
You have
I
no
respect
idea.
the vape grind. you
Yeah,
know?
well, you know, vape niche. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
When you're out, you're repping.
See, I read somewhere up top in this article, American United, Alaskan Airlines, Southwest Airlines, JetBlue Airways, and Spirit Airlines do not specifically define on their website whether passengers can use nicotine pouches, according to the most recent reviews of their sites.
So this guy can fight it.
Yeah.
100%
100%
can fight
fight
it.
it.
100% should fight it too.
Well, is
Waiting for
that
the big S word to come out of your
was
mouth.
he?
Sue?
He should have fought the flight
there it is.
attendant.
I would sue.
There it is.
Well, wait. Which
That's number one today.
What was he on? What flight was he on?
Zyns.
Delta. He was on Delta.
He was on a Delta, or was he on American?
He
Oh no,
went to-
I'm sorry, you're
I think
right.
it was
It's
saying
Delta.
Delta, yeah.
But so these ones, so what this is saying is like there are a bunch of other ones that do not specifically define. I guess it doesn't say whether Delta specifically defines it in their like terms of service or anything like that.
I think, and I've always thought this, like you said before, I think even vaping should be fine anywhere, indoor, outdoor, because again, there's no secondhand harm to vaping.
Sure.
It's fucking vapor.
Right.
It's what it is. There is no secondhand harm to fucking nicotine pouches, as they like to call them, because that's not the brand name. Zyn would be the brand, right?
Yeah.
So there's no harm to zinning in public
Yeah. I feel like
or chewing tobacco.
And even I said this before we came on, but the Zyn pouch or the Zyn packets themselves have like a little compartment for you to put the like used Zyn in.
right.
So it's not even
They
like
do?
a situation. Some of them do, I believe. I'm not exactly.
Well, I know you can buy like
yeah.
containers and stuff that have the flip on them for new and used Zyns alike.
So is chewing tobacco not allowed on?
There's no way.
No, there's no way.
Well,
Well,
tobacco
that's
products.
tobacco. That's
Yeah,
tobacco.
That's a tobacco product.
Yeah, but also
so yeah, I wonder if you can like
Nicotine patch.
be a dick bag and fight it. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
No, nicotine. There's no way that nicotine patches are banned on flights.
But that's a good point. If I can bring a nicotine patch or Nicorette gum on my
Right.
flight, I should be able to bring a Zyn.
Zyn.
and I think that's
Yeah.
that can be the argument made by this guy.
Sue him.
Is like, hey, I'm doing a non-visual form of nicotine.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be.
Who would stop me if I had a fucking carton of Nicorette on me? Which I always do. Who would stop
always
me if I had a
keep
carton
That
of
and your
Nicorette?
box mod.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're right next to each other.
Yeah.
chewing one, spit it out, hit my
got-
box mod. You know,
You got the whole packet in your mouth. You're
Just
like, I'm
smells
not
like
hurting
burnt.
anybody. You can't speak.
it's like I don't even breathe. It's just all nicotine.
Also, what a scam. Do you guys remember when they like first started advertising Nicorette on TV and stuff for quitting smoking? You're just chewing nicotine. That's not quitting smoking. Come on.
Yeah.
It's quitting smoking.
Yeah.
But it's still,
I guess you're right. Vaping is quitting smoking technically because you're vaping.
Yeah, it's like pivoting.
It's all not smoking.
It's like pivoting.
Just grow the fuck up. Stop being a pussy and smoke a Marlboro Red. I'm tired of this
Amen.
culture.
Amen.
I'm tired of the fucking little 0-calorie energy drinks, and I'm tired of the fucking Zyns and fucking box mods and vapes.
You're
Go back
drinking
to-
a sugar-free energy
Go back
drink.
to coffee and cigarettes. Back when we were a real nation.
Yeah, you're right. No, actually, I agree.
Black coffee and Marlboro Reds
Yeah.
for everyone.
Yeah.
Across the board. Men, women,
Yeah.
children.
Yeah. Start them at the age of like 4.
Yeah, start them early.
How
Teach
much-
them right.
How many people do you think have to start drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes for like big
Real
nicotine,
change.
big nicotine where they're like, you know what, we really
Political
we gotta
change
do
doesn't happen until
Yeah.
we start drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes again.
this is population control at its best.
I would like to announce that I'm running for president. This
Free
is my
Marlboro
policy.
Reds, free Marlboro
Executive
Reds and
order.
black coffee for everyone.
I'm funded by fucking Folgers and Marlboro
The black coffee's gonna be coming out of the water fountains.
at the
Just-
school.
Just you wait.
They took the fucking pop machines out when we went to high school. I'm putting the fucking nicotine machines in.
Bring
black
back the
coffee
cigarette
machines.
machine. In every diner, every donut
Yeah.
shop, bring
Yeah.
back the cigarette machine.
I genuinely think this. This is not a bit.
They have vape machines.
They do.
Yeah.
I
transition.
genuinely think we should have smoking and non-smoking flights.
Mm.
What would be the harm if you smoke cigarettes?
Mm.
What would be the harm of booking a smoking flight?
Like you pay, almost like you have to pay a little bit extra,
Right.
Or
I
something
feel
like
like
that.
Then the airline makes more money.
Yeah.
Every single person on the aircraft smoking may be an issue.
Sounds like a fucking airline issue. Make a plane that can withstand smoke.
In the 80s, that's what people did.
Right.
You
We've
watch
been
your-
there
yeah.
before.
Make them like the 80s.
We've
Make the planes like the 80s.
We've been there before with worse technology. Why can't we do it now? It's like going to the moon. Why haven't we been back if we have better technology?
Yeah,
if we went,
I should be able to like walk to the moon at this point.
right, with a Marlboro Red
We got to bring
Black
back
coffee.
and have it not go out the entire trip.
we got to bring back the TSA hate. You know, we got to bring
it's
out
here.
the
It's
the
alive
what
and
is
well.
it? The Jordan Peterson mentality, where he's like, they're the most fascist people in the world.
Listen,
is the TSA?
I don't disagree. The TSA needs to be challenged at every instance. I encourage everyone out there when you go to the airport to challenge the TSA. Better yet, pull a power move. Ask for a cavity search.
I feel
me
like
Request. Request a second one.
Dig in there, buddy.
Make sure
See
it's
what you
thorough.
find.
starting your day with a Marlboro Red and a cup of Black Joe. That changes you fundamentally as a human. I feel like
It makes you a man. It
Yeah.
puts hair on your chest
Yeah.
at the ripe old age
puts
of 13.
hair puts hair on your fucking eyeballs.
It does.
You are a turbo man. So, anyone want us in?
You guys want to pass them around?
while we're on this flight.
you want Zin? You want to sponsor us? Come on, we support you.
No, listen, I think I was talking to you about this actually, Pidge. I don't agree with the Zyn. Only because I think they have a stranglehold on the market. I think it's 100% monopoly with Zyn. There's a few other smaller brands like Zone, and I know like Tucker Carlson has his own Zyn brand now, but like no one asks for a nicotine pouch. They ask for a Zyn. I don't ask
Yeah.
you if I do, but normal people wouldn't ask you for a Marlboro Red. They'd ask you for a cigarette, right? I'm asking you for a Zyn specifically.
I feel like it's definitely rhetoric to say like, you got any pouches on you?
Really?
100%.
Well,
don't
I'm in
know.
support of anyone else. that
Would
makes
you
them.
like bat an eye if someone said, because
If
Pidge
if someone-
zins it up.
No, if someone said
He's got
like,
6 in right now.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just foaming at the mouth right now. If somebody's got
chomping at the
yeah,
bit.
you,
Chomping
you
'em.
don't hear me chewing on them during this. Yeah,
But like, if someone was like, "Hey, do you have a pouch I can bum?"
Yeah, I wouldn't really question that
Right.
as much as like if I hear a pouch or a Zyn, I would just
Right. It feels
Yeah.
like that. It to me is like
Coke and
interchangeable.
Coke, soda, and pop. That's what this is. The nicotine rule.
It's interchangeable.
Is can I? It's like, hey, can I have a Coke? What kind of Coke do you want?
Right.
Which is, hey, can I have a Zyn? What kind of Zyn you want?
Right.
Oh, can I have the Tucker Carlson? Can I have the TC Special?
What are his called?
Special.
What is what?
The Tucker Zyns.
I don't know.
Let us know. 216-859-8699 if I can bump a pouch.
What's the difference between the shirt you're currently wearing and the one that I am? Well, both do their job of concealing us from the outside world and social boundaries. But one little black swoosh makes yours cost nearly double. That red rectangle may not change how warm you are, but it certainly changes the price tag. The truth is, nobody cares about the details. Get to the point with GenericClothes.com. Have a laugh at the big brand clothing company's expense with shirts that simply say sports team, political statement, music band, and more. A shirt for any occasion and the perfect gift. GenericClothes.com.
Hi, this is Melissa,
And hey, it's Matt.
coming at you from Synergy Music Studio.
We are a recording and production studio located on the south side near Chicago.
Check us out online at synergymusicstudio.com. We offer recording, mixing, and mastering.
And follow us on Instagram at Synergy Music Studio. Rock hard.
Are you ready, kids? It's me, distinctively non-copyright unspecified Sponge Man, and you're listening to the Rebel Radio Show on WSRR. Make the switch.
Roller coaster of love.
That's
That's it.
I thought
Next
you were
segment.
Gonna I thought I was gonna do that.
Oh,
You kind of hit that.
I was waiting.
Yeah, man. See how you
I was
stole his
waiting
thunder?
for him.
you're gonna keep
You
waiting.
guys want to read about Chris Columbus? Because I got him right here. I've never heard of him before. He's a funny guy. Got
Well,
weird
he's in the
clothes.
history book, so
Yeah,
he's
got
probably
weird clothes.
a hero.
Apparently he's Spanish or something. Santa Maria. I don't know who that is.
Why are we singing Roller Coaster of Love, Shane?
Well,
You
you got
started it.
you got me in the mood. I'm
So why are you
fully
singing
erect.
roller coaster? Oh.
Well, let me give you a hint. The Cedar Point's newest roller coaster, the Cedar Point's, as we call it, like the Ohio State, is the Cedar Point's. If you're not from Ohio, you don't know that I'm wrong, because I'm not. The Cedar Point's newest roller coaster is called Siren something.
Sirens drop,
Is that called Siren's Drop?
I believe.
Terrible
like
name.
tornado siren?
No, like a
Or-
siren. As
Sirens
in,
curse. Excuse
Siren's
me.
curse.
Siren's
Oh,
curse.
okay.
As in like a sea siren.
Yeah.
A
Mhm.
siren of the sea. The
Yes.
song ones.
Ahoy, matey.
The
Mermaids.
hot ones.
Yeah. Mermaids.
You guys ever fall victim to one of those?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I
Roller
hear, the,
coasters?
I hear
Yeah.
the sirens call every night.
While I'm at
Pidge,
sea.
Pidge, I'm chained to my bed nightly. The siren,
I lock
the
them up.
sea, the sea, they yearn.
I say, Shane.
They yearn for me, Pidge.
I say, Shane, that is simply Bret Michaels' Rock of Love on the TV. And he says, no, those are the sirens calling me. And I say, you could turn it off. He says, no.
I say, chain me down, Murray talking pirate.
I can't sleep without this sweet song.
So I chain him down every night watching Bret Michaels' Rock of Love on VH1 Classics.
I have
As
to
the
be,
rest of us do.
I have to
Yeah.
be chained
Everyone
down
knows what that is.
in like a boat simulator so that I can experience the rocking.
He's got like an arc bed frame
Yeah.
that swivels.
This dude does not have a waterbed. He has
No.
I make
has a ocean bed.
I make style dressed like Noah
Yes.
with the ark.
Come rescue me.
I'll be
As a
in my
damsel
little
in distress.
I'll be in my little 2 animal onesie. I just put a different one on every night,
He has
2 by 2.
He has 2 stuffed animals of each animal.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
all at
yeah.
8:30 p.m. by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You do not want to see Shane past 8:30.
No, he's a
Way
different
past
guy.
my bedtime.
Yeah.
Shane, you're talking about the siren song. Shane starts giving out curses after
Yo,
8:30.
ahoy, matey.
The amount of people I've seen walk away from Shane's house with peg legs after 8:30. I ain't fucking around with that. Just like I ain't fucking around at Cedar Point with this new Sirens Curse ride, because I don't know if you guys have seen this. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? The Sirens Curse. The Sirens Curse. Drops at a 90-degree angle, but doesn't drop as in like your typical roller coaster rails drop at a 90-degree angle. It stops, and the rail itself moves because half of the track is missing a part of the rail.
It's almost like the rail. I was about to say it's almost like the rail moves.
It does.
But you just said that.
Yeah.
So like you get to a spot and you stop and it goes.
It's like the track is separated.
Yeah.
That's what I was.
Crazy.
There's
thank
like a
you.
gap in the track,
Yes.
and then you tilt and you connect with the bottom.
Yeah.
Part.
It's all on one big
Yeah.
gyroscope.
It's like it's like a Hot Wheels track.
Yeah, it's like a Hot Wheels track.
It's like a Hot Wheels track.
horrible.
You know, it's terrible. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't they get rid of the Top Thrill Dragster because it kept breaking down and not being
No,
able
they
to
still
make
have
speed?
that, don't
Well-
they have the Dragster too.
Yeah, they
Oh.
took down the Top Thrill Dragster, but they built the Dragster too.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of like
A wash.
Yeah, it's a wash.
It's a
you know?
wash in terms of roller coasters.
They lost one, they gained another one. Yeah.
But so like people who aren't around roller coasters, I guess. So like there aren't that many amusement parks, like big ones.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
No, not like big name ones like
Right.
Cedar Point.
So like
There's-
Cedar Point, Six Flags.
Yeah,
Mhm.
those are the biggest ones.
Right. So like it's weird that we are just accustomed to how theme parks like roller coaster parks work. They get rid of some every couple years and just
Yeah.
build a new roller coaster, and it's the biggest attraction.
Mm-hmm.
But here there's a handful that I will never go on. The Millennium Force I will never go on.
Mm.
It used to be the biggest roller coaster in the world, I think. I don't think it is any
No.
longer. But everyone, like you're talking an hour and a half wait in line on a slow day for Millennium
Yeah,
Force.
right.
Every single time I've been to Cedar Point, Millennium Force has broken down with people on the ride.
Mm.
Every single time without fail. Why is that one still operational?
Yeah.
If the whole-
this time.
If the whole point of the dragster was that, or the whole reason they got rid of the original Top Thrill dragster was because it couldn't reach speed enough to make the fucking turn
Mm-hmm.
so often that it was an inconvenience. Why was that one decommissioned for not working, but the Millennium Force wasn't? If it has the same issue of breaking down, roller coasters break down. That's what they
And I mean,
do.
Didn't they built the Mantis and took it back in like what, the span of 4 years?
Yeah, well, the Mantis was dangerous. That's the one that people got their heads kicked in on.
The
Yeah.
Mantis was sick as fuck.
It was awesome.
You stand
I
on the
loved
Mantis, right? That was that
Yeah.
one. Yeah,
It would like lock your
knees.
quads
yeah.
in.
Your
Yeah.
head would go back and forth very quickly.
Yeah, very dangerous ride. Terrible ride. I hated it. But this one, the Siren's Curse, has already broken down. It's been active for maybe a month, maybe 2 months now. And of course, at the point where it pivots, where the track has to disconnect and reconnect to another part of the track, of course, that's going to be the most likely to break down.
Right.
And it has. And people were dangling at a 90-degree angle for 10 minutes.
And it's only connected at 2 joints from
Yeah.
what it looks
Right.
like. Where this
Anything
I mean-
goes
these
wrong,
4,
those
5,
cars can
6?
just slide right off.
I
That
would
section.
have to assume that it's probably like connected more than just I mean, yes, visually it looks like it's just connected right there, but I'd have to assume that's like there's structural engineering that went in. You know, there's like probably very thorough structural engineering that went into that, because
I
it's
could
not
do it.
like
Yeah,
it's not
he's
like
played the Tycoon games.
yeah,
I
it's
can do it.
true.
I had Thrillville off the rails. I could do it.
played Roblox a few times. Played some Tycoon games once in a while.
To me, it's
You
just
know,
it's one of those things where
roller
like
coasters.
like Style said, all the rides, all the big rides, all the normal rides break down at Cedar Point at some point for a couple minutes every day at one point or another. 'Cause-
Every day at one point, all the rides break.
well, I mean, like probably within the span of like 3 days,
Sure.
Yeah.
every ride in the park
Sure.
probably breaks down at least once or twice.
100%.
Right?
Or has
Uh,
some sort of minor malfunction.
Right. Just statistically, every 3 days or 2 days even. So like, yeah, 10 minutes sucks. I almost want to say like it's the price you pay for getting on the ride.
I'd like
It
to,
is.
I'd like to imagine some of the people on there, like as they're stuck, like at a 90-degree angle. There's like the mix group of people where one person's freaking out and the other person's like, "Come on, dude!" Again?
You know there is.
Like, son of a, and the lady's like freaking out in the front, or a dude is like, "Shut up, we'll be all right." And you're just like facing 200-300 feet at the ground.
I've never been stuck on a roller coaster, and that's a track
Mhm.
record I'd like to keep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the reason I won't go on the Millennium Force is because I know statistically from what I have seen, that's going to break down.
Right.
This one, I had no interest in going on in general because that's terrifying. I hate
Right.
that. I hate that it's missing part of the track.
Well, and I think too, like that's part of the like you get what you paid for. If it got stuck right there, it's a really wonky looking ride, and it has a very weird mechanic that no other roller coaster has. If it gets stuck at the weird wonky part, that's your fucking fault, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of how I like, and not even in like a pissy way, just like you made your bed, lay in it, you know?
You wanted to go on the wonky,
and
terrifying roller coaster.
The other thing I will say, I've seen like video of the ride, and when it's at that 90-degree angle and you're dangling there,
You stop there for a minute.
you stop there for like a minute. Like
like a literal minute, yeah.
predetermined, you have to be okay with dangling at that angle for at least a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
And so if it gets stuck there, it's like, well,
And
what'd
imagine
you expect, doofus? You
10
know?
minutes. 10, like,
Yeah,
I get it. 10,
would
10
suck.
minutes might not seem like a long time.
When
No,
you're
but when you're
there,
dangling like
yeah.
that,
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah.
You want to know a Pidge fact?
Yeah.
You'll never catch me on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Really?
Terrified of them.
Yeah?
So you've never been to like CP or anything like that?
Please don't abbreviate Cedar Point
Oh,
to
you're
CP.
right. You're right. So,
Yeah.
but you've been to Cedar Point, but I'm assuming you haven't gone on the rides.
I've gone on like 2 rides.
What rides?
The Maverick was one of them.
Really?
That's a very solid roller
yeah, no, that's a
coaster.
good
Yeah,
roller
that's a
coaster.
good
was
one.
one of them, and I think I can't remember. There's another like old wooden one.
Gemini.
okay,
Yeah,
that
Gemini's
I
a
went
good
on.
one too.
Gemini will
I
beat
mean,
the
those
shit
are,
out of you, but it's
He
fun.
scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, those are
I
2
won't do it.
good picks,
I
and I
was-
mean that's valid.
I was like
you don't
14
like them, don't
when
do
I
it.
did it. I was like the stereotypical like sailor getting on the land. I
Mm.
got there, I kissed the ground. I'm like this. I'm home.
Were you hyped to get on them?
No.
Oh, you were
No,
so you
at
were
all.
scared, and then
I
you
was
got on them,
scared
and you're
from
like,
the
"Yep,
beginning,
I was
scared
right.
at the end.
I was right the whole time."
No way,
This is
sir.
scary.
No way, no how. Yeah.
That's awesome. Hey, well, at least you know.
Yeah.
You know what you know what you're into. You know
Can
you know your
make it
kinks.
Can you make it a Halloween attraction where the ride just
You're
will
so
suddenly
yeah.
where you're
stuck.
supposed to get stuck
Yeah.
on there for a little bit?
That's what's scary
It's
about
like
it.
half an hour, the blood starts pooling
yeah.
to your face.
Yeah, start seeing red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm assuming when you buy a Cedar Point ticket, you're like agreeing to terms and conditions of like, you can't sue us if this ride breaks while you're on it.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
It's probably part of
Probably.
the long
Probably part of the buying, the
Online.
transactional
Yeah.
ticket process.
if there's online terms and conditions. I feel like most people buy like
Yeah.
tickets
Yeah.
online now, so there's probably
Yeah.
a big disclaimer. It's like
Right.
these rides will break, and it's the tiniest
Yeah.
Right.
letters.
It's exactly what we said. That's what roller coasters do. They break.
Yeah.
That's what they do, I think, half of the time.
Yeah.
They're either broken or they're not. It's your odds, man.
Even
50-50 odds.
Even the little dinky ones at
Yeah.
your street fair.
Yeah.
They're
I
broken
had
or they're not.
a friend when I was growing up. We went to the street fair, and
Had.
she
Died on the roller
no.
coaster.
well, she didn't die on the roller coaster, but it was one of the ones that in the cage that goes in all the way around the
Yeah,
circles.
Never.
Yeah.
So she got on that, and it broke down, and then she was upside down. The cage opened up, and she
Oh,
fell out, but her leg got caught on one bolt,
holy
and she
fuck.
dangled there on that one bolt for a long time, and she was holding on to the other person that was in her cage by her arm.
That's
Did she
fucking
sue?
Crazy.
Yes, they got a lot of money off that.
Always sue.
I-
Always sue.
I think in my eyes, there's a like safety difference between fairs and Cedar Point.
Oh yeah.
And it's like kind of, but to me, that gives me more trust to say, like, yeah, I'm not afraid of going. Like, even knowing that they're probably going to break down at some point, I'm not necessarily.
How much are you willing to trust a 80-foot ride that they pulled out of a suitcase? 216-859-8699.
If LimeWire taught us anything, your digital music is free and open to piracy, and even manipulation when it comes to digital distribution. So why settle for a bunch of ones and zeros floating around on the internet? Make your release something special with Hellbender Vinyl. Hellbender is one of America's most trusted custom vinyl record pressing plants and works with local artists to get their next release pressed exactly to their liking. So check out Pittsburgh's first and only custom vinyl pressing plant today by visiting hellbendervinyl.com to get started. And don't forget, all customers at Hellbender Vinyl get 5 free test presses at no additional charge. hell-bent on quality, hell-bent on service, hellbendervinyl.com.
On July 26th, we will be doing a WSRR Rebelthon, our 12-hour radiothon, 12 hours of live radio right here on WSRR Radio. Shows, music, interviews, giveaways, and more. July 26th from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. We'll be raising money through Venmo for the channel to support the channel. Licensing fees, all that jazz. So keep an eye out for that. Like I said, July 26th, me and Dom might be doing some live shows. So if you are a Behind Enemy Lines fan, make sure you keep up with that, and you'll get to hear some exclusive content from us that day. Maybe we might do some collabs with some of the other shows. Maybe Shaney from Off Air, maybe Style from the Rebel Radio Show. So keep up with that. Like I said, July 26th, right here on WSRR Radio, 12 hours from 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. And I'm sure you guys will hear advertisements for that across all of our shows right here on WSRR Radio, nationally local, meaning we play your local bands coast to coast on a national stage. Your new home of underground radio right here, WSRR. You make the rules and we will break them.
The Rebel Radio Show is live at 5.
Stop saying Daryl the Wild Man Show as if it was like a show that was on it. Well, that's not a thing.
Every Monday on WSRR Radio.
Hey, welcome back to the Rebel Radio Show, live, uncut, and uncensored on WSRR Radio, 216-859-8699, that number to text in. That's the Rebel Hotline, once again, 216-859-8699, the number to text in live today. I know Shane said it at the top of the show, but I'm going to run through it one more time. We're sponsored by Synergy Music Studio out of Chicago, Hellbender Vinyl from Pittsburgh, PA, and GenericClothes.com. To get to all of their respective websites, go to WSRR Radio and scroll down to the bottom of the page. Under our kick-ass sponsor section, you get all their websites right there as well. All proud supporters of WSRR Radio, as well as local and independent music. And speaking of music, let's talk about music for a second here.
Music.
Music makes you lose control.
Music makes you lose control.
Music makes you lose control.
Music makes you lose control. Music. This turned into a DJ set.
Thank you. Anyway, let's talk about music, and let's talk about this band that has now amassed. I think this number is actually a little low now. I think they're a little over 500,000 listeners on Spotify.
Let me fact check you.
Yeah, go ahead and look it up for that.
I got them up right here. 554,000.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, so a little over 500,000 listeners on Spotify, which is no easy feat for a starting musician, and especially when you don't have any musicians in the band, and the band's not real either. Is the music real if the band's not real?
What a pickle you found yourself in.
What a pickle! So you've amassed 500,000 followers on Spotify, but you're not a real band.
Don't have a band.
What do you do now?
Yeah,
that is the story of the Velvet Sundown.
Yes, not the Velvet Underground.
Not the Velvet Underground. Imagine fucking decades later, the Velvet Underground never been real.
Turns out they were AI the whole time.
What?
Yeah. So for those that are. Am I out?
Are you out again? Is he out again?
Oh,
baby,
hello.
there he is.
Am I back?
You're
I'm
back.
back. I had to punch myself back in.
All you had to do was punch himself.
I had to punch myself back in.
That's okay.
So if y'all
I'm
are
sorry.
some Velvet Sundown, what are they? Velvet Sundown people, you've been duped.
Yeah.
You little silly sheep, you.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. Let me read the headline.
Lay
and
the
then
foundation.
Yeah. Right.
Drop the gravel, pave the asphalt.
There is a seemingly AI-generated band called the Velvet Sundown who has amassed this over 550,000 listeners on AI, and it was never explicitly displayed to the audience, or like that was never told to the listeners. So people have been listening to this band.
So it's like that radio show host.
In Australia.
Yeah.
That was completely AI and had a following.
We turn and there's just a computer here the whole time. Like old 80s. Like,
it's like a little like
DOS.
Yeah. He just looks like a PS1 character.
It's polygons.
But so
that's actually where all of the money for WSR goes. Is into the fucking
right into the computer
server fee. Yeah.
But it's just interesting because like that means that it's like what Pidge is saying. There's a good chunk of people out there who have probably been listening to this band for at least a couple of months, right? And they have assumed that it's at least without thinking, because it's not like you're putting on a song nowadays and you're like, never heard of this band.
I wonder if they're real.
I wonder if they're real people.
Okay, so here's an interesting conversation then, and I'm going to pivot just a little bit.
Sure.
So like fake bands exist.
Yeah.
Fake bands have been a thing for decades.
Gorillas.
Gorillas were, right?
Gorillas are, like a fake band.
But I'm thinking like the Archies were a fake band. They were a TV band. The Monkees were never a real band.
Okay.
They were only a band after.
The California Raisins.
The California Raisins are a good example of fake band too.
Yeah.
But like there are
Aerosmith.
Aerosmith. Little do we know, all holograms actually.
Yeah, Tupac.
Yeah.
They've never shot. They just turned them off.
Exactly. But like there are fake bands. But then somebody's the Soggy Bottom Boys are a fake band. You go on Spotify and you look up Man of Constant Sorrow, you get the Soggy Bottom Boys.
Right.
But that's not who's singing that song.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
It's Mr. Dan Tominski.
Yeah.
That's who sings it.
Yeah, it's not George Clooney singing it.
No, I wish it was.
So like it's no Paul Rudd, all right?
Yeah,
calm down. It's no Paul Rudd.
Don't you talk about Ulysses Everett McGill like that.
So like there are fake bands. So really, is this that much different?
Yes, because they're not actual people making this music.
Yeah, there's a difference between. Oh well, I don't know, because I was gonna say there's a difference between like intentionally profiting and just becoming famous, but I don't know. I don't know if in cases like the California Raisins, or the Soggy Bottom Boys,
Because
like
again, they don't advertise who sings it.
Right.
It's a large epidemic going on right now in music with that.
AI?
With AI,
Yeah.
like musicians and everything. Like I get playlists or like recommended to me on YouTube that are now like when lo-fi was proper lo-fi and it's like actual people making
3 to 6 a.m. on WSR radio, Lo-Fi Wake Up.
Yarg, matey.
Yeah.
Versus an AI, and it's a lot. Most AI or most like lo-fi stations now are AI.
Yeah.
No, I've seen those playlists that you're talking about, like when lo-fi used to sound like lo-fi, and it's surprisingly different. Like still, it feels like lo-fi music, but it is there. You can tell it sounds more like what old lo-fi sounds like.
Vintage lo-fi.
But like no, Pidge has a point. Like
Retro-fi?
I've seen that sort of thing before. Did
I tell you that the
interesting.
The like most famous, what's the most famous lo-fi station now? It's like the Chilled Cow, like the Lo-Fi Girl.
Yeah.
Her comment section or like the live chat is just like a lot of AI or like a lot of bots.
Is it
now? And it's just a lot of horny Middle Eastern men.
I was gonna say it's probably other nations, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
because I remember
trying
like
to break in through the lo-fi.
It is like if you're a girl and you're tuning in, don't comment on the Chilled Cow things because
who
you'll just
comments?
get
like rational people don't comment on a 24-hour lo-fi stream, right?
I mean, I used to when
used to comment on it.
Yeah, it was a live chat, so it's like sometimes I'll get bored.
Evan, those are lo-fi beats to chill and study to, not chat with international strangers to.
It wasn't international then. It was a bunch of just like American college students, but now.
Oh, I see what you're doing there.
Yeah, you know what I'm doing? Yeah.
Yeah, I've cracked your.
It's
I've
like, hey,
cracked
what
your
are you
silly
studying? Oh.
Abroad, huh?
Oh.
Yeah, me too, pal.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? Oh yeah, Velvet Sundown.
The Velvet Sundown.
But I don't think it's that because it is deceiving. It is very much deceptive because Evan was reading before the show started on their Spotify bio. They have a bio for fake band members, and they never allude to anyone being fake or this being an act or a bit. It's like here's Johnny Hamstring on the guitar, right?
I will say
it's very ChatGPT bio.
It is.
So
are ours though.
Devil's advocate counter argument. They don't have to.
They don't have to.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They don't.
I agree.
To, right. So like.
I'm not promoting it.
Yeah, right.
But again, I don't think they're necessarily doing anything wrong.
I mean, there's a big...
It's schemy.
I don't disagree.
I mean, AI is taking over all forms of art. Like right now, there's people that are doing a trend with using ChatGPT to redo their wedding portraits as a oil painting
That's crazy.
rather than hiring a painter to be at the wedding.
I'm not advising this. However, I'm just simply stating a fact or question that if you, for some reason, hired a wedding photographer and then did not want to pay them, could you have ChatGPT remove the watermark from your wedding photos
Probably.
that the photographer gave you and then cheat the photographer out of all their income?
You probably could.
You could.
You can, you could.
No, I'm not saying you can. I'm saying on
We already
Photoshop,
paid.
you could just get rid of that
Right.
watermark.
Well, I know people that have
Yeah,
done that and
yeah.
paid to do that. But yeah, no, it's the same thing as that to me.
Yeah, I don't
It's
think
not necessarily right, but it's not necessarily wrong either.
there's
No,
definitely,
it's morally incorrect.
Sure.
Yeah.
But
legally, it's dynamite.
You're totally legally you're profiteering right now, my friend.
Making
It's a good idea
money, too.
And like it's one of those things where we've talked about like AI is the wild we're in the wild west days of AI, like back when the internet was the wild west. Right now we're in AI wild west. And so you can get away with stuff like this and there is no legal there's going to be no at least I would assume
Randy Travis used AI to completely make a whole new song, and he cannot sing.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not
But, like,
she's not saying he can't sing.
like,
He lost his voice.
Yeah.
He had a stroke. He can't
He
speak.
can't sing anymore. Like,
Yeah,
but
we did a whole off-air episode about that.
he used AI to create
To clone his
voice
vocal pattern,
and make a new song.
Here's to your point, Shane, about it not like the legality side of it. Very recently, I learned through Jake Underwood that there's an app you can download, and I may or may not have it downloaded, that you can have it generate songs. You can either put in a description or you can write the lyrics and you can have it generate it. Evan's seen it in practice.
Yeah.
You can generate it in any genre, any style, any gender you want to sing in. You can make it a live performance, a studio performance, and it will make that song for you, and then you can go back and tweak it. However, if you like it, if you make something like, hey, I want to make a song about my specific truck, here's all the details about it, make a stereotypical country western song about it with a female singer at a live crowd.
Right.
And it makes that. And I go, I like this. I made this. I put all the prompts in here. I want my credit. I want to be able to use this.
Sure.
I want to sell it. You can buy it for $16. For $16, they will sell you the legal rights to that song, and it is yours. And they give you the documentation for it.
Wow.
On the app. So you made that song,
right?
Legally, you made that song.
Well, I think, you entered the prompts to put in that song, and now legally you own that song.
Exactly.
I think that's the big thing is ownership.
It's no different than hiring a songwriter and then turning around and saying, I want to buy the rights to that song, actually.
Right.
It's no different.
Right.
And that's the scary part. Creatively, absolutely, it's different.
Right.
But legally,
it's totally fine.
It's the exact same thing.
Totally kosher. Yeah, so it says here, Spotify allows AI-generated music and doesn't require disclosure that the technology has been used. The band's music is available on other streaming platforms too, including Apple Music and Deezer, the latter of which has been developing technology to identify and publicly tag AI-generated
Deezer
music.
still exists?
Shout out Deezer. They're doing the Lord's work.
Deezer nuts.
Not sponsored by Deezer.
But we'd like to be. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know Deezer still existed.
Oh, here, look. See, and only on the description from Deezer does it say, some tracks on this album may have been created using artificial intelligence.
Well, they say may. I always hate when there's like that disclaimer up there. This may have been used with artificial intelligence.
And it's completely made of
and
AI.
It's like, no
Yeah.
shit, it is. Like, yeah. It's like, this may be a fake image. It's like,
Yeah, and
no
the
way-
person
yeah.
has 17 fingers.
Every time it says may, it's automatically like it is. There's no doubt.
Is our stream still up
whatsoever.
on YouTube?
Are we gone?
Because I just randomly got shuffled to a video from a channel and account I've never seen called Applin Gastoff Tenarium, and it's a CCTV cam of some estate in some country in black and white, and it's honestly kind of freaking me out. There's also no description and no views on this thing.
Well, we're watching it.
It's 17,000 likes, though. There's 3,000 people watching it right now.
Like, I like this.
Pretty popular.
This is
Yeah,
good. There's some
Yeah,
good
bring it
stuff.
back.
And recommended as lo-fi, by the way, on the next
Yeah,
video. So tell me they're not listening. Terrifying.
It doesn't look like we're live anymore.
We'll try and get that fixed. If you're listening on radio, which I guess is the only way you can listen now.
The algorithm. You say AI, you say lo-fi. They're
Yeah.
like, we're taking
We're
you
coming
there.
for ya.
We're taking you
We're
straight
sniping
there,
ya.
buddy.
216-859-8699 if you want to text in during the show today.
Yeah.
No, that's creepy. I'm going to try and sidestep from that now. There's two different thought processes when it comes to AI, music especially, though. Because I think it's very much a niche. It's a genre for me. It's
yeah, I agree with that.
It's like a B movie, right?
Yeah.
It's not intended to be like the best thing ever,
right?
But it gets the job done for what it wants to be. I think it's perfectly fine to make AI music. We even have an artist we play, King Willonius, on the station, who very publicly, like, openly says, "Hey, I'm using AI to make this. They're fun little songs. They're like 2 minutes a piece. They're just interesting little things that he does, and he doesn't hide the fact it's AI. Some of them are even like covers. Like we have the Ninja Turtle song done in a R&B style. But like that's very different from him going in there and manually making the beat and programming what it wants the voice to sound like, and then putting out this track and saying, "Hey, here's an AI thing I made under my name of King Willonius. Here's the track." Versus this, where it's Velvet, not Underground, Velvet Sundown.
Velvet Sundown
saying, "Yeah, this is a band. You guys don't know Velvet Sundown?"
Yeah, we just, and it's one of those things where like all they can say is like, "Yeah, they're only 2 weeks old.
Right,
they're
new band.
Right."
There's still some respect that's kind of maintained when somebody like up front admits that it's AI versus like the Velvet Sundown where they keep it hidden for so long, and it's like steroid users, where they're like, I'm on steroids, and they're like, and you're like, okay, this guy at least admits that he's
Sometimes it's better. Like I'd rather watch baseball with steroids.
Yeah, me too. He's making the exact argument that I brought up of like, if you have steroids, just admit it.
Yeah,
it's kind of a flex, literally. It's kind of a big ass flex.
You can.
It's kind of like,
physically and
are you roided up right now?
But when you start lying about it,
then it's weird.
Then it's a turnoff.
Then it's a problem.
It's like, yeah, my balls are shrunk, son.
That's just how they were.
That's Hulkster in the 80s.
Right. 100% is.
Yeah.
That's fucking Scott Steiner telling Triple H to piss into a cup. That's all that is. Just admit you're using it.
It's interesting to me though that like they post on Instagram as if they're real, but then the pictures are very clearly AI generated. So it's like, what you're selling, I can tell that what you're selling me isn't real.
Right.
Like this is very clearly AI, the pictures. And so it's one of those things where like, they're not saying it, but it almost feels like because of the quality of everything and the fact that they aren't saying anything, they're alluding to it.
Yeah, they're not necessarily trying to hide it.
Right.
But if you didn't know better, you could be deceived.
Right. And then maybe that's like the gray area that the needle that they're trying to thread is like the smart people will know.
Yeah.
And if they like it, sure, cool. But the dumb people won't know, and we'll get all them.
I guess that's kind of the question: is how much are you willing to look into it? Right.
Right.
Because I use Spotify relatively differently, I think, than most users would because of this job. Is typically when I find an artist or I want to reach out to an artist or they want to reach out to me and send me music, I will listen to what they send me on Spotify. I will go to their About page and read about them, and then I'll follow that About page to their other links because it's usually all linked in Spotify.
Right.
I don't think your typical Spotify user gets a recommended song in their daily mix from the Velvet Sundown and goes, "Oh man, I want to know more about them. Let me go to their bio." And their bio on Spotify is perfectly normal.
Very thorough.
Yeah. So like if that's all you're going to, that's all you know.
Right.
I don't think the average person, if you're in the car and you see this new band pop up, is going to go, "Now let me check their Instagram too."
Yeah. Or I don't think the average person would say, this kind of sounds like AI.
Right.
If they're just listening to it in the car, kind of like passively, you're not going to think about that.
No, not with these songs. These songs don't really have that AI flavor on them. Like
that's where we're at now.
Yeah. And it's really interesting. And it's just like, there's 550,000 monthly listeners. There's definitely more than a handful of people that are like, "Oh, what, do they have live events going on?"
Right.
And they're like,
"Yeah, when can I go see them?
When can I?" And they're like, "No, there's no live events." They're like, and then half of those people are like, "Oh, I guess they're still like so new. They're just not touring."
They're not big enough to tour big. Yeah.
You want to know what though? I'd bet you money they're not far off from touring. I would bet you money that they do something like the Gorillaz and they have a screen and no one's ever seen the Velvet Sundown.
Yeah, it becomes one of their
that's gonna be a bit
sticks.
I guarantee you they sell tickets to a tour. I would bet money on it today that you will be able to buy Velvet Sundown tickets within the next year.
I just recently
do some sort of hologram.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, or just a screen. Or because by that point you'd assume that most people would know.
Right.
Yeah.
We're talking about it right now, and we're far from the first people to break this story.
Right.
I guarantee you in a year's time, most people, if they're still making music, literally making music, I guarantee you in a year's time that they will try and capitalize on this and go, well, you can go see them in concert.
Right. Go
anywhere.
See, quote unquote, see them and like play up to the shtick. You can see them.
They're playing in Chicago and Cleveland and Boston tonight at your local Cinemark.
Right.
Yeah, the same night.
Right.
Let me raise you. It's going to start with online performances.
Yeah,
and
right.
Then it's going to go into the in-person
Fortnite crossover?
Ooh. Oh, yeah, here we go.
So, Style and I both brought this in, and I had a situation that happened to me maybe like a month ago now where I was listening to music on YouTube, and the next random music video that popped up was like a cartoon in animation style, and it was very like electronic in the way that it sounded, and there was definitely a solid like minute and a half and like searching of, is this band AI, is this song AI, and like all the comments were relatively normal, and it ended up being a real band. But I ran in, like, I feel like I've already had this situation happen to me, and now I'm seeing this and being like, it got all of you too,
right?
Like for real, it got you, you know. Interesting.
And that's not something that I ever thought I would have to like actually worry about. Like, is the music that I'm listening to real people?
It's a real music?
Right. And
is it real music still? Because it is.
It's
kinda
music, yeah, but it's not made with instruments or anything. It's
neither are boy bands.
True.
But I feel like most of the population isn't thinking like that yet.
Exactly.
You know, there's still a good portion of people who are like, man, that AI stuff is pretty crazy, and they think it's like robots or something. You know. It's way more real and deceptive than...
It's like saying I'm playing a video game and you think I'm playing Pong.
Yeah,
but I'm playing Halo, you know?
Right.
That's where the disconnect is of people thinking versus reality.
Right.
I think there's a lot of younger people, mainly the Gen Z and like Gen Alpha, are like really getting sick and tired of the AI covers and just AI music and stuff. It didn't really take much.
I think we're out of the covers era, but I think we're just scratching the surface, like Shane said, of is this... not being able to distinguish because things like this are going on.
Well, and I think Gen Z and younger audiences are getting sick of the covers, and so they're finding a way to implicate AI into their real music that they're trying to make, and then they apply AI to that, and then it's like 70% real, 30% AI, and
like their homework.
Right.
Yeah. The
but
college papers,
I think AI by younger people is it's not being used as gimmicky as we're using it, and it's being used more literally. And like, how can I apply this to every problem?
All forms.
Every single problem in my life, how can I have AI fix it? And they're probably getting pretty damn good results. You know, like, it's one of those things where like, I feel like music is going to get a little less real, but probably way better and way cooler sounding in the future. I just hope that AI doesn't confuse people too much.
I've said this before. I'll say it again. I know we're getting short on time here. I am not the anti-AI guy that I think a lot of people are. I think there's a time and a place for it in every scenario. I'm not just talking business. I'm talking art too. I think there's a time and place for it. I know people really hate that stance, but I think there's a time and place for it. If I need a graphic by Thursday and it's Monday, and I don't have time or the money to say, hey, I really need a graphic done by Thursday. I don't have, $100 to give you today or $100 to give you tomorrow.
Right.
I need this done though. I'm going to go to AI.
Right.
I'm going to say, hey, I'm making that sacrifice of it might not be done as well. It might not be exactly what I want, but I'll have that graphic I need. Then if I need to keep using it, I can go back and say, here's the graphic, here's what I actually wanted. Let me find an artist to do it.
Right.
It's a time thing. I'm sacrificing quality for time.
Right.
I think that's a perfectly good use of AI. And as I'm not advocating for people to only use AI and then turn around and say,
of course,
open an Etsy shop with everything AI in it. I think that's blatantly wrong. But again, if you need a graphic design, if you need a quick tune in one of these new AI song apps and you need it by a date and realistically you can't have an artist make that or you can't make that by that time frame, I think that's a perfectly good use of creative AI.
Like all things, there's a balance to it.
Sure.
You got to find the good applications and the real applications that are helpful and don't hurt the quality of what you're doing. But, don't make it all AI. Like, you still need to use your own brain. Right.
216-859-8699. Generate something to ChatGPT. Send it our way. If you're listening on Windows 12 early, 216-859-8699. And of course, we're live every Monday right here on WSRR Radio. It's the Rebel Radio Show live at 5. You can catch us all throughout the week at 5 p.m. for the Rebel replay as well, or check out all of our great showtime schedules and more at WSRRradio.com. Shows like Shaney is off air.
Hey!
The Pigeonhole with the Pidge. Well, we have all our great shows on there, like Behind Enemy Lines at 10 a.m. weekday mornings with Lucas and Dom. We have True Vault Escapades at 10 p.m. during the weekdays. That's Preston Harden's, they're laughing over there. That's Preston Harden's Fallout-based radio drama weeknights at 10 p.m. You wonder why our fucking computers don't work? Shane's looking up some diabolical shit to save on my background.
Because Shane turns it off.
Hey, turn off that button. WSRradio.com gives you all of our showtime schedules and more. And don't forget, July 26th, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., the WSRR Rebelthon, the 12 straight hours of live programming, live shows, hosts, music, interviews, guests, giveaways, and more. WSRRadio.com for more information on that. Join us for some giveaways. Help us raise funds to keep local music on air nationwide, ad-free, of course. Once again, that's July 26th. WSRR Radio, the WSRR Rebel-thon. 216-859-8699. Again, that number to text in for all of our shows. And one more thank you to our amazing sponsors at Synergy Music Studio, Hellbender Vinyl, and GenericClothes.com. Until next time, I've been Radio's Rebel DJ Style. To my right is Shape.
Bye, everyone.
His right is Even.
Evan.
On the board is Jules.
Bye.
Peace.